You know, I keep saying I gotta stop covering comic book movies because there's that much other shit I wanna do, and then another one comes along and lo and behold, I freaking love it, and I have things to say, and here we are once again. So I'm sorry, but I gotta talk about the Suicide Squad. The movie wastes no time going over what we already know, so I don't feel the need to do that either. Second time round, we know the drill. The US Gov bands together bad guys to bring down bigger, badder guys, and if they abort, brain bomb goes boom. The formula's simple. What's changed this time is the alchemist, James Gunn, the legendary mind behind one of the greatest films of all time, Scooby-Doo 2: Monsters Unleashed. That's not a joke. I would die for that masterpiece. What we have here is unequivocally a James Gunn movie, something far removed from whatever the original version was, and he lets us know that straight up. It's sillier, goofier, and outright meaner from the get-go. I found it deliciously nasty even, and the trick is that James goes there to have some fucking fun with it. This time, people are gonna die. A lot of people are gonna die, so good thing James packed this joint with characters to spare.
I'm the one who called you!
It's no big secret, James loves a fuck-up hero, a nobody, a loser. That love is the backbone both Super and Guardians of the Galaxy are built on, and here, well, here is geared up the most delightfully depraved roster of low-life losers imaginable. I mean, he scraped the bottom of the barrel on this one and managed to scoop up some serious gold. Savant, TDK, Weasel, the Jennifer poops at parties guy whose superpower is just a javelin. That's dumb as shit. Most of these guys are, and James knows that. He never tries to present them otherwise. They turn up, they fuck up, and then they die. And I love that because almost across the board, save Bloodsport being the most badass motherfucker on the bad side of Batman, James isn't trying to bypass how inherently ridiculous it all is. He revels in it. For every glorious display of supervillain theatrics, there's a subsequent moment of staggering failure. Everyone gets to be the butt of a joke sooner or later, and no one ever feels impervious to meeting an unceremonious and embarrassing end.
I'm a superhero! I'm a motherfucking super...
Like, I'm all cut up over Boomerang being all cut up, but holy shit, he's gone. A Suicide Squad staple just minced into oblivion in the first 10 minutes, and I like the shock of that. We get so attached to these characters as everlasting intellectual property, and you better believe the studio does too. You can't cash in on someone over and over if they're 6 feet under, and James couldn't care less about mileage 10 movies down the line if he can have some bloody fun with our favourites here and now. Honestly, how rare is that? How rare is it to be watching one of these things where the stakes are literally life and death? It's a goddamn rush, man. And it's not just that no one is safe. Nothing is safe, not the character moments, not the story beats, and certainly, more than anything, not the filmmaking. Seriously, James Gunn takes some giant space starfish-sized swings in this thing, such as the entire Meanwhile Harley sequence, where James pretty much detours from the story at hand altogether for 10 minutes just to take a trip with the best thing DC has going for it, my main gal Harley Quinn. Hi. I can't think of another comic book movie that'd skip out on the plot for that long in order to just, I don't know, fuck around? Literally, shout out to James Gunn for allowing non-Deadpool super people to be horny again. Not in a sanitized family-friendly way, but in a knock over some fucking vases kind of way. Nothing is safe, especially the furniture. And the storytelling scenic route doesn't stop there. No, it culminates in Harles going guns akimbo to bow staff extraordinaire in a dazzling DIY breakout that's visually every bit as insane and aloof and colourful as she is. I mean, talk about acrobatics. Look at that camera move. Comic book movies love cracking out the fancy stuff whenever the frame is 200% CGI and physics have gone out the window, but James and DP Henry Braham are pushing the practical camera to its limits with freaky twists and turns and whips and zooms as often as they feasibly can, and I think it's genuinely electrifying to see a anti-hero movie this far past Sam Raimi that's still willing to be visually unpredictable in scenes that are just people talking. Speaking of, I think it's funny as shit that the squad literally hits an objective too early and needs to just chill in a bar and wait for the story to catch up. They drink, they vibe, and they fucking left Nanawe in the car, man. I wanted to see King Shark get down on the D floor because he's a good boy and he wouldn't hurt anyone. Okay, yeah, but what I'm saying is, this is the point where it hit for me that, holy shit, this movie would have been a blast to make.
Here's to being alive in 3 hours.
3 hours later.
Ugh. Favorite scene in the movie, hands down. The choice to play the fight off the toilet bowl reflection was fucking unreal, and I have no idea how it was done. But, and this is where I complicate things, for every unsafe choice like that I feel pays off spectacularly, there's almost as many that I thought just didn't. For every wild joke that I lost my mind over, there's one that totally flopped. For every badass moment that gave me a full-blown endorphin rush, there's one I found just awkward and not intentionally so. For every jaw-dropping camera move, there's one that's floaty and sluggish and aimless. And for every bonkers approach to a scene or setup that made space for something totally fresh and exciting, there's another instance where the dots never connect as economically as I feel they could have.
Let's go to Jotunheim.
Taking big swings means big hits, big misses, and yo, I gotta say, if the choice is between a movie that goes for broke with euphoric highs and fumbling lows, and one that takes the safe road and never tries anything that'll pique my response beyond, I liked it, I'll choose the one taking those big swings every single time. Truth is, I can't be mad at a movie that goes all in, guns blazing, and gambles on real creativity scene after scene. There was a time where, for better or worse, that was the norm, not the exception, and I'm fucking glad DC seems to be embracing that once again. They let James Gunn come in and make a big old B movie on a nearly $200 million budget, and I have my issues with it, but who fucking cares when a director on that scale is saying, this might not work for everyone, but I believe in it, and then sees that vision through. Nothing is safe in the Suicide Squad, and that's the way, especially for a Suicide Squad movie, that I think it should always be. Like, come on, how many movies are ballsy enough to have John Cena stand around in tighty-whities for an entire scene? Not enough, I say.